You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome back to Cards to the Moon. This is episode 231. My name is Clark from 5cardguys.com and 5cardguys on Instagram. Co-hosting with me, as usual, is Hyung of Integrity Sports Cards. John's away for this episode, but we hope to have him back soon. All right, off the top. Last week, I briefly mentioned my thoughts on the return of Topps Chrome basketball this year, and I wanted to revisit it to hear your thoughts, Hyung, to see if I was off base or if you had a different point of view, because what I said was it's a hard pass for me, right? Since Topps doesn't yet have the NBA license, there's no team logos on any of the cards, and so it looks to me just like Panini baseball cards, where the athletes are just wearing their practice uniforms. But then I heard that when the set was released, it crashed the Topps website and all the boxes sold out quickly online. So I'm wondering if I'm in the minority here, or I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're in the minority.
Okay, really? Wow.
Yeah. Okay, let me get this straight. I still don't love licensed cards, and I think Panini unlicensed cards and Panini unlicensed cards are a hard pass for me. But I think it's different. It's very different in this circumstance, and here's why. One, you got the Victor Wemby auto. I think that's going to be obviously the number one chase. So that alone, having a chase of that magnitude, this is what people are going for. Still, Wemby autos are very scarce, and this is. I don't love the pose. I think it's a little soft, but. It doesn't look like an unlicensed card, and I think it's an on-card auto that's going to be highly in demand. So that, and I will say LeBron James autos, because Fanatics signed an exclusive deal with LeBron. This is his first Topps Chrome auto since. He was in the Bowman Chrome with his son Ronnie. So this is, I think, another chase that's going to keep the product hot. And everything else, I think, will be worthless. but I think it creates such a high demand for it that it will do very well. And even in the long run, I think that will keep the hype of it. And we look back too. It's like if you had a chance to rip 2018 Optic baseball with Shohei on-card autos, would you rip it right now?
Sure. For Shohei.
Yeah, I mean, if the price was reasonable, like if you're talking retail, straight up retail, right? So that's, I would say Wemby's along the lines of, the hype. Obviously, do I agree with the pricing? No, but I think this is what we've seen multiple times with Zion, with, Acuna, with, whoever the superstar is, right? There's always going to be a correction, but during this time, I think it, Fanatics, like I said, they always win on marketing. They know how to back up the marketing. So they've done everything correctly from a non-licensed product. It's a very difficult task to do, but I think they're going to do very well with this product.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that last point. And it's exactly what I said in the last week's episode, that I personally would have wanted them to wait and hold out and cause that anticipation of a licensed Topps Chrome basketball product. That would have been a great, comeback and launch to that set. But I also understand why they did it. And it's because they're going to make a lot of money from it. Yeah. No doubt about it. Obviously, they sold out. Not surprised by that either, right? So maybe it's the purist in me that would wanted to have held out and waited for the license to kick in. Yeah, I agree with you too, though, that the majority won't be worth that much. Like the Rockstar insert set.
No.
Not cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's
I don't think that looks good.
Yeah. It just throws it out, especially like basketball, because you rarely see unlicensed basketball because, I mean, Topps Chrome, they really haven't been doing it, I guess. So
yeah, true.
Yeah.
And and you know, I like that point where you mentioned how the chase cards are going to be huge. Like the only card I actually really like, and I've only seen part of the set already, but is that Victor Wembanyama auto where he's holding the basketball over his shoulder. That looks pretty sick, right? But you can't do that for every player, you know.
No,
that can't be the pose, right? So, and I think we joked about it before, the prom pose or something like that, right? But so I understand that every player, some of the cards just won't look great, you know. And the LeBron autos, of course, that's going to be a huge chase, but I don't think it's worth the price of buying the whole box just for that chase, you know. And it's going to be really rare. I think he autoed only the red refractor, so that's 5, and the super, so that's 6.
Yeah.
And everything else is non-autoed, but orange, parallel, gold, stuff like that. Yeah. So to each their own. And I'm curious to see what the singles sell for on eBay when it starts to roll out.
I think it's going to be ridiculous, to be honest. I really do. I think there's going to be such a huge demand to rip these boxes. Everybody will just try to hit something massive, because I think something like even like a red or a true gold Wemby auto, I think it would just be massive, because Topps Chrome parallels are different too, right? And then you look at like the true golds and even the superfractor, like that superfractor is gonna be an amazing card. I would see it as a 6-figure card. So
yeah, I could totally see that. All right, I got an early pick one, which I just thought of. Would you rather have the Victor Wembanyama Topps Chrome, you know, the 2023-24 Topps Chrome? Insert card of Victor Wembanyama, okay, but you know, obviously no team logos, or the Don Russ no autograph Victor Wembanyama, you know, the one that says no autograph, but you have the team logo. Which one would you rather have?
Wait, what was the first one? Like a insert?
Yeah, just a Victor Wembanyama insert card of you know, not the auto, just the insert card of any Topps Chrome parallel.
Oh, I see. No, like I rather have the Don Russ no autograph card. I actually think that that's gonna be still a big card.
Okay.
I do. It's not an autograph, but it's a story. It's people are gonna wonder 10 years ago. It's like, what's the deal with this card? It's like, and there's not a lot of it, right? So it's like, and then somebody is gonna say, hey, back in the day, you know, like there was this beef with Panini and Topps.
I wonder if, I don't know how many people will care about that, but that'll be interesting to see.
Hey, 10, 15 years from now, we talk about like the 52 Topps manuals. You never know, right?
That's true. I'm just looking up how much these Wembanyama no autograph cards are going for. Oh, PSA 10 of that card, the non-autograph or the no autograph, Don Russ Next Day, sold June of this year for almost $2,200. Wow. Wow, still up there. Okay. All right, let's move on to hobby headlines. All right, so the official Cards to the Moon countdown to Fanatics Fest has begun later this week when this episode is published. For sure, you and I, Hyung, will be in New York City for Fanatics Fest. Our friend Will seems to be on the fence, but we're hoping he can make it as well. We already know other friends of the podcast who will be there, so it'll be great meeting up with them. So what I thought we could do for this episode, before we get to NYC, let's just talk about some of the news we've received recently about Fanatics Fest and do a quick rundown of our thoughts on each news item. All right, so let's start with Travis Scott, the rapper. He's releasing Cactus Jack Topps baseball cards, and it's an exclusive release at Fanatics Fest NYC with only 1,000 boxes made. And it will feature cards of 49 of the best MLB players, as well as Travis Scott himself. And Topps said that each box will have 2 packs of 4 cards, including 2 cards numbered to 25 or less. So if you have the chance to get these boxes, are you buying?
1,000%.
Okay.
There's going to be so much hype around. There's only 1,000 boxes. And hear me out. So I know it's gimmicky. Okay. As a hobbyist, You're like, oh my God, here we go again. Some Fanatics, sponsor. It's like, trust me, Fanatics ain't sponsoring anything. I'm telling you, they got the marketing behind it. The difference between like a Ben Baller Chrome, right? For instance, it does okay, right. Ben Baller brand, but this was when it was pre-Fanatics relationship. So there was no follow-up in marketing. There's nothing. But the way they're positioning this is they're bringing enormous amounts of demand from the celebrity standpoint through the marketing that they're doing. So there's going to be a huge demand for it outside of what we know as the hobby. So like I said, I'm not for or against any of this, like in terms of like, I can't control anything, but I know the hobbyists would be like, oh, like, I get it. It's gimmicky, but it's going to do super well at the end of the day because you're bringing a whole different crowd that never existed in the hobby into the hobby, introducing a whole different spectrum. And if I get access to one of those boxes, hey, I could flip that. I could probably double my money, or
for sure,
like me, I will probably rip it. Like 100% I would rip it. But yeah, like that's what we're dealing with. So I'm for it. Yeah, I would totally get it.
Okay. You know what? I'm with you. I would totally get it. I do think it's gimmicky. And but you took the point right out of my mouth. I was going to read out this tweet, and it kind of proves what you were just saying. And the tweet that I thought was funny is it says, how many 40-year-old white dudes shredding packs have no idea who Travis Scott is? Right? And it's to the point that it's not meant for those 40-year-old white dudes,
That's
right?
Hilarious.
That have been in the hobby for a while. It's for a new audience who might be interested in sports card collecting, like you said.
That was on true. X?
Yeah, that was on X. I don't think there will be a lot of 40-year-old white dudes who know Travis Scott. And you're bang on about the marketing, right? Like we're at a point where Fanatics can make these partnerships with these bigger names outside of the hobby, in the celebrity culture area, like Travis Scott. I mean, no offense to Ben Baller, but I'm sure more people know Travis Scott than Ben Baller, right? So that's a good point as well. All right. Next, there's another Fanatics Fest exclusive set, which was announced a week or 2 weeks ago, and it's from the Topps Chrome baseball boxes that offer the chance for collectors to hit ultra rare Big Apple Refractors cards with a print run for each card less than 50. So the VIP members or VIP ticket holders get access to them first, and then other attendees if there is any available product. I was just wondering, did you get a chance to see these Big Apple Refractors, and what do you think of them?
I did see him. I'm gonna pull it up again.
Yeah, there's like the New York skyline.
Yeah, I'm a fan of him actually, but again, it's I know the true hobbyists will not, but it is numbered to 50. You said, right?
Yes, less than 50.
I like that. That's what I like. I just didn't want this as a non-numbered, like typical refractor. Then it I lose interest. But because they're pretty low numbered, like the Shohei and Judge, so sick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's gonna be huge.
Like the Judge is gonna be massive.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be the big chase. Yeah. Again, I think it's gonna be one of those instances where is this gonna be snatched up real quick? I don't think it's gonna go beyond the VIP ticket sales. Like I think the VIP guys are gonna just buy as much as they can. For sure. And then, they could either rip them or resell them. And I know our friend DC, he mentioned that he's looking into seeing if he could get a box or two. So good luck to him. And we'll see if we can. Actually, he's going to be in Fanatics Fest. So
nice. He's coming?
Yeah, he's
nice.
coming.
I was talking to him. I was asking. He was unsure. I was like, come on. If he does, we got to do like a crazy rip with him live or something like that.
We'll do that for sure. For sure. So I'm all in on the Big Apple Refractors card too. If I can get my hands on them, I'm definitely going to. And we were talking about this before we started recording, where we said we might need to take more cash out just in case we do get an opportunity to buy these exclusive sets. We can't say no to it, right?
Yeah.
So whatever it costs, we don't even know how much it's going to go for, which is the funny thing.
We're going to film it too. We're going to film a lot of this
Everything.
stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be vlogging, I'd say, this whole journey, because it's a new experience for us too. So for everyone, actually. So it's going to be pretty neat to kind of finally be on site, and we're going to capture as much as we can.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And for all our podcast listeners, it'll be part of the podcast content for the next week or two as well. So don't you worry. We got you covered. All right. This next point, Will is actually the one who brought this up to me, but he saw that the autograph and photo ops at Fanatics Fest it's kind of pricey if you look at the price. On average, it seems like you're shelling out $200 to $400 for autographs on rookie cards, and it's a bit more if you want them to autograph like a bat, or if you want them to inscribe a message. So that's like another 100 or 200 on top. So, it adds up pretty quickly. And I might be wrong, but I don't think the National costs as much to get autographs from athletes. Mind you, the caliber of athletes who are signing at Fanatics Fest seem to be a little more top tier. No disrespect to those who signed at the National. But do you think the autograph zone will be popular at FanFest?
Yeah, I think so. I think anytime you put it in an emotional environment, I think you're gonna get a lot of demand from that, just in general, just from being there. I think the bigger names too, I don't mind it actually, because it also regulates the IP auto market. Because if you're just like whoring out, these autographs and you're signing for $5 an auto, like what's that doing to the secondary market, right? So for me, I don't mind it because of course if it's on a cool card or cool memorabilia, it should add enormous value, right? But at the end of the day, I'm for more expensive in-person autos, especially on the top tier names, right? Like the Shohei. You don't want Shohei signing autographs nor Woody for like $20, right? Like that's ridiculous. But then like that's why his auto market is so hot in general, and even on baseballs, because to get him to sign one of those, it's impossible. So it holds the market well, which I'm a big believer in.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So that's a great point. I'm just looking at the names that are going to be there. Cal Ripken Jr. is a good one. Andre Dawson, Darryl Strawberry, Ozzie Smith, some current guys, Pete Alonso. And even for Pete Alonso, if you want an autograph rookie card, he's you got to shell out $216.
Wow.
I'm not sure I would do that for Alonso. No. Austin Matthews, our Toronto Maple Leafs representative. I think that's 200. Sorry, that is going for $216 as well. Yeah. So if you want an Austin Matthews rookie card, it's kind of what you're looking at.
Yeah, it's pretty pricey.
It's pretty pricey. You know what the funny thing is, and it's surprising to me at least, but the ones that are sold out already, like you can't get a ticket to get whatever you want autographed, are all the wrestlers who will be there signing.
Interesting.
All the wrestlers sold out completely. And funny enough, those are the ones Will really wanted to get. I'm like,
well, there you go.
Like, I'm like, it's just wrestling. He's like, actually, that's what I want. So I guess there's a demand for wrestling fans. And I guess we could bank that there will be a lot of wrestling fans at Fanatics Fest.
Sounds like it.
So, yeah. All right, I got one more. This was announced just a few days ago, and it's not exactly card related, but I do have a reason for why I bring this up. The announcement is that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are going to be at Fanatics Fest facing off ahead of their Netflix fight. So it's a kind of a promotional stop. And no doubt you'll have boxing fans there as well. But in general, my question is, how much crossover do you think there will be between sports fans, like people just who cares about sports, and sports card collectors? Like, do you see sports fans who aren't into collecting perhaps discovering this hobby we love, and FanFest will be the place they start to explore the world of sports cards?
100%. There's no doubt in my mind that this was all intentional.
Yeah.
And that's what we say. This is what we're talking about. It's fun to see it like every week because we discuss this. It's not that we're fans of Fanatics. I'm actually a fan of what they're doing, and I've been saying it for the last year and a half. That's where they're going to win. They know what they're doing. They're very different than Tops. Like, we got to make that absolutely clear. The resources that Fanatics had over pre-Fanatics Tops, like, we're not even in the same boat, and you see it right away. What are they doing? They're collabing. They're doing the right things from a marketing side and bringing enormous attention towards the hobby. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sports fans, if you're not in a part of the hobby, I guarantee you, I give it a couple years, you'll probably be in the hobby.
Yeah. And, that gave me an idea for, we're talking about us filming a lot of content for our YouTube and for our podcast. And I might just go around talking to like sports fans and then get their thoughts on
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
What they think about the hobby and see if they cross over at some point. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to seeing as well. Just that integration, that kind of crossover, and the impact of Fanatics Fest on those fans, right, afterwards. All right, I know some people are going to think that we're Fanatics fanboys after this episode, but I think we've been pretty clear, especially over the past year or two when Fanatics took over the Tops brand, and that we're just more excited about the new developments that are going on. It just seemed pretty stale in the hobby.
Yeah,
and
it was boring.
And you know what? I know some hobbyists like it that way, which is fine. But for us, we've always said change is more exciting, right? And that's why we were going to Fanatics Fest to see what it's like.
But I will say this too. It's like, if you're in the hobby, you have a head start. Like, that means your cards are going to be more valuable in the future.
Right.
Just remember that, especially the rare stuff, the stuff that, people don't even have access to coming new into the hobby. They come in, they're like, what? You spent $2,000 on a rookie card? It's like, right. They can't fathom it yet. And they haven't gone through that. And we were the same way. Like when we started, we were like, whoa, $200. It's like, whoa, right. I went really deep here.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like you have that head start, which is great. Use that to your advantage. Lock in the cards that are great long-term holds, right? And that's, to me, that's enjoying your collection. And then if there's opportunities, like we say with exclusive Fanatics Fest stuff, and you could make some money off of it, why not? It's like, get the card you think you want on the long term from that flip. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. So it's like, it's not about one side or the other. It's about, if it's the resources are right in front of you, take advantage.
I think that's great perspective. And, all these newer releases, like, honestly, I think I can speak on for both of us that they're not that appealing. They're fun to talk about, but we're not going to go just rip loads of them. Right. No, but I think it is a good way to bring, people that aren't as into the hobby, with these new products. They're like, oh, this is shiny. This is something neat. And maybe then they'll become more like us, where like just become a little bit more picky with what cards you want to buy.
Right.
They'll discover eBay. They'll discover all these auction houses online, and then start buying singles and get more serious about the hobby that way.
And like, mark my word, that market, so that whole Travis Scott market will probably crash too. But that's with every single thing we've seen. It's like, there's going to be a peak, and then it just crashes and then corrects. So it's no different than what we've seen. So I could still enjoy it. There's other people that will enjoy it. There's going to be some bag holders. You know what I mean? And then there's the newest, greatest thing that comes out will do the same thing. It's just the cycles that we have to just kind of accept. We can't change, really. It's human behavior, right? So.
Yep. And things will always continue to evolve in the hobby too. So,
yeah.
If you can expect one thing, it's change. All right. Before we close out this segment, is there anything you're looking particularly to when we go to FanFest?
Yes. Here's my biggest excitement for Fanatics Fest is, I've stepped away, I would say, from the hobby the last couple of years. Just life got busy, but I mean, still involved in it, still showed up every week, still read what's going on. So I'm really excited, because my life has been so busy over the past 2 years, to just focus on cards, and the hobby all weekend. And being in New York City in the summer, I think I would say I wish it was somewhere else just because I hate busy, but we're going to make the best of it because it is New York City in the summer. And, there's going to be a lot of fun things to do in terms of at Fanatics Fest. That's why I think you're going to have to, maybe pull out the wallet a bit and have the full experience for it, right?
No, for sure. And like I said in a previous episode, for me, it's about meeting some of these content creators that we've known through the podcast and through the hobby. And I know a bunch of them are coming to Fanatics Fest. So it'll be great to meet them in person. And no doubt we'll probably be shooting content with them as well in collaboration and partnership.
For sure.
So that'll be fun. All right. With that, let's go on to our next segment. It's America's favorite pastime, the Hobby Quiz Show, brought to you by Cards to the Moon. All right. I got this data that I use for this quiz show from GemRate. So shout out to gemrate.com for the work they do. Anyway, on one of their IG posts, they listed, I don't know if you saw this already, but I'm sure you haven't memorized it. They listed the top 50 graded athletes of all time. And they got that number by adding the pop counts from the 4 major graders: PSA, BGS, SGC, and CGC. Okay? So you'll see familiar names on top of that list, with number 1 being Michael Jordan with 2.07 million of his cards graded as of last July 2024. Number 2 is Ken Griffey Jr. Also not a big surprise. Number 4 is Kobe Bryant. All right. So my question is, and the reason why I skipped number 3, if you noticed on that list, is who are the top 10 graded athletes who are currently active right now playing in their respective sport. All right. So you don't have to get them in order, but the top 10 active players in terms of most graded cards.
I would have to say, man, is Zion on there?
Zion is number 3 on this top 10 list. Yeah, number 9. Number 9 total, on that list. So you got it, Zion. It has to be majority come from that era. I would say 2020 to 2022. That's good thought process.
I'm kind of getting it. I want to say, Luis Robert.
No, he might be on the list, but not the
top
10 active players. Yeah. All sports too.
All sports. Let's. So you said Kobe and Jordan, right, in basketball. Mm-hmm. So let's say Steph Curry.
No.
Surprising.
Yeah.
I would think a lot of like his just base and insert cards were graded during that era. So if Zion was in, then we got to go Luka.
Luka is number 13 on the overall list, but yes, he's on the top 10. Yep. And the Steph Curry is number 32, so he's on the top 50. And funny enough, Luis Robert is 31, so they're right next to each other.
Interesting. So how many do I have left?
8.
Holy jeez.
You got Zion and you got Luka.
Let's go Ronald Acuna Jr.
That's right. Yeah. 16 on the overall 50 list. Yeah.
Oh, he's number 16?
Yeah. But he's on the top 10 active players list. You got it.
Top 10. Okay.
Yeah.
We go Shohei Ohtani for sure.
Yep. Number 2 on the top 10 active list.
Juan Soto.
Not Juan Soto, no.
Aaron Judge.
Not Aaron Judge either. There's one more baseball player left.
One more baseball player, huh? Who would have been 2020, 2021?
Number 11 on the top 50 list and number 4 on this top 10 active list. And it's so you're not on the wrong path. It's not the 2021 era. He's been around a while, so that probably helps the number of cards graded.
And he's active.
Yes, he's active. Quote unquote. And you'll know what I mean when I tell you.
Active, quote unquote.
Who's injured? Who's always injured?
Oh, Tatis Jr.
No, not Tatis. Whose season ended recently?
Oh, Trout. How did I miss Trout?
Yes, Mike Trout.
Yes, yes. That makes sense.
Yeah. So you're halfway there. There are 2 basketball players and 3 football players.
3 football. I'm not going to do well with the football player, but it has to be Mac Jones or something stupid.
No. But you know what you're saying about the 2021, 2022, those all apply.
Joey B.
Joe Burrow, yeah. The other 2 are also QBs, of course.
So it has to be either Herbert.
Herbert's on it, yep. One more. This is the easy one, I think.
Either Mahomes or Brady.
Patrick Mahomes, you got it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then 2 basketball?
Yep, the final 2 are basketball. He's number 1 on this top 10 active list. Number 3 overall.
So Wemby?
No, Wemby's 26 on this. I think that's what made news too. He's only been around a while, but he's already cracked the top 26. Yeah.
I would submit everything Wemby right now.
Yeah. So he's quickly going up the ranks, but it's not Wemby.
Who? Is this in? It's in that same era?
No, one of them might be.
So we said, did we say LeBron?
No, but LeBron is the guy on the list. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last guy is you mentioned Zion.
So same, the other guy. Same era. So Ja.
You got it. Ja Morant.
Wow.
There's your 10.
2020, the era.
2020 was crazy time in the hobby. Yeah, that's crazy. You name for other notables. Aaron Judge is number 23 on this top 50. You mentioned Tatis Jr. is 25 on the top 50. And then you got your icon guys like Wayne Gretzky's 30, Clemente's 27, Cal Ripken's 26.
Oh, interesting.
Vladdy Jr. is 46. That's kind of surprising with 177,000 graded.
Yeah, because they all came from 2019, the SPs that are not SPs at all.
Oh, my boy Trae Young is number 39.
Kobe White has to be on there.
No, he isn't. Surprisingly, no. That's hilarious though. Juan Soto's 34. You mentioned him before. Yeah, that was a cool list. I thought it was interesting to see how many are being graded by some of these players. And if anyone just came into the hobby, they might be asking why some of these names are on there. But you got to put into context of 2020 and 2021 how crazy the hobby was back then. All right, let's end off this show with our regular weekly segment we call Pick One. All right, this is when we put up a couple of cards up, and then we debate which one we would rather invest in. So, Hyung, do you want to start things off for us?
Yes, sir. We'll go, the AL, MVP race is crazy. Obviously, Aaron Judge is the front runner. But I'm telling you, Bobby Witt Jr. is playing ridiculous baseball, like top notch. He's gonna set some records, individual season records, because the pace he's on is pretty crazy, and he's only 24 years old, which is even more insane. But I'm gonna pick 2 of his rookie autos that I think his rookie autos are some of them are still underpriced if you're a fan and you believe in Bobby Witt Jr. and the longevity of it. But 2022 Topps Heritage, the real one autograph. I believe this is his highest sale. It was sold for $1,400. Okay, PSA 10, and then the auto is graded PSA 10 as well. So this is just the blue ink.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pair that up with a 2022 Topps Chrome Bobby Witt blue Ray Wave refractor, PSA 1010.
Okay.
So they're both on card. Yeah. So obviously Heritage is paper, and it's not as shiny as the Topps Chrome, but I don't think blue Ray Wave would be a a highly demanded parallel for Bobby Witt, but it is a great looking color match card. So I think it's still numbered pretty low, but I do not like the image of Bobby Witt Jr. rookie autos. I think there's like, that's a weak throwing image. Like, come on, like you got to pick a better image than that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm not a fan of that card. I'll go first. I rather the real one auto. Like, okay. I think long term,
it's like the profile shot. Like
I like the profile shot. I do think like Shohei's real one auto market kind of set the standard for real ones in general. So I think there's opportunity if you look at it in that lens. But which one would you rather have?
Yeah, you're right. The photo they use for the Topps Chrome is like he's just throwing a practice lob or something.
Yeah, and it's like mid image. It's not even like an aggressive stance. It's like caught in an awkward moment. It's such a weak image.
Yeah. That, and I know it's numbered to 150, but it's a ray wave, so it's kind of that debate about shimmers and all those like pseudo refractors that that we've talked about before. So that card has that against it, and the fact that it's no surprise to any of our loyal podcast listeners, I'm a huge Heritage Real One fan. I wish it was the red ink, obviously, but obviously those are more expensive. But you know what? I'm gonna go for the Heritage Auto, the blue ink auto. That's kind of a color match. Is that stretching it? Color match auto with the
that's a little stretch,
but I can't. I love the Heritage Real One autograph card. So I'm with you. It's gonna be a sweep.
I think it's gonna age well, that card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. All right, good one. I'll go with my pick one to end the show. Okay, so this is in the $3,000 range. Okay, both of them cost about $3,100 or so. One is the 2009 Bowman Chrome Mike Trout rookie auto, right? His first Bowman Chrome PSA 8. Okay. PSA 8 with the auto 10 grade. The card I have in a BGS 9. PSA 8 Auto 10 sold for $3,100 yesterday. All right. On the other side, I'm going to put up a pitcher, which is what makes this interesting to me. Paul Skeens, who's a stud, right? Blue refractor, numbered to 150. The 2023 Bowman Draft autograph card, blue, numbered to 150, PSA 10. A Paul Skeens sold for $3,200.
That's the auto?
Earlier today. Yes. Yeah.
That's a Topps Chrome rookie auto?
Sorry, Bowman Draft.
Bowman Draft.
First
Bowman.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Good Lord. I think we all know the right answer. Like the right answer is... Well, the right answer is Trout. Like if you ask this like pre-boom of the hobby, yes, you would be not expecting prices. Like you're not expecting this volatility. You would pick Mike Trout. Yeah. It'd be a no-brainer. Like we would be like, yo, this guy didn't even play a game yet. And that was our logic. But our logic started switching as the market gets a little volatile because you're looking at it as a short-term flip or a long-term hold. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's where I'm at right now. And with Trout's injury, right? Uh-huh. But I am tempted to crack that 8 and resubmit it. That would be my only play. The other side is, you go with the Bowman, what's hot right now, hoping that Paul Skeens will, win Rookie of the Year, have a little price bump, do a quick flip, and then maybe buy the Trout. So that, I'm leaning towards that logic, or cracking the 8 and then maybe seeing it as a resubmit candidate to BGS or something.
I see. I thought what would come into play more, and maybe it doesn't for you, but Mike Trout's injury, is that how much of a concern is that for you for the rest of his career?
I mean, It's very concerning. Obviously, it's not the same Trout you're gonna get in terms of his peak. So you just wonder, can he stay healthy for the next 4 or 5 years to finish off his career? I think that's reasonable. And when it's all said and done, amazing career, 100+ WAR candidate. So at the end of the day, I still believe that Trout still has value because of how impactful he's been when he's played, right? And he's a first ballot Hall of Famer for me. And he just needs to stay healthy to finish off his career, to not like tarnish, I guess, his reputation. I think it's tarnished a bit over the last couple years. It's, can he stay healthy was the big question. And then you've seen a big production fall off this year, which I think raises a lot of concern for Trout. But in general, in the long term, I think he's still a legend. Like, he's still going to be highly collectible.
Okay, fair. And on the other side, Paul Skeens, do you think he's an exception to the rule when we collect pitchers?
I'm hoping that he becomes the reason why pitchers become more valuable in the hobby. Right? So people realize, hey, if Paul Skeens is selling this much, and why don't I invest in like Clayton Kershaw right now, or Justin Verlander, or Max Scherzer? Like, still value, right? So I think someone like Paul Skeens can maybe do that, which I get a little excited about, that people are starting to believe in pitchers. And I want the same thing with catchers, right? Like, it shouldn't be an imbalance that much of, a player that is in a different position. At the end of the day, if he's accomplishing just as much as, any other Hall of Famer is, I think people are going to recognize that opportunity. And that's the thing with the marketplace, right? It's all dictated on us, what we deem valuable. So it's just a matter of, right now we could see it as, hey, pitchers are a great buy right now. We could look back 5 years from now, or 5 years ahead of time, and be like, hey man, 5 years ago pitchers were on sale, especially the Verlanders, the the Hall of Famers, right? So
okay. So who are you going with on this for now?
Sorry, I forgot we were doing a pick one. That we were still recording the pod. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Mike Trout. I'm gonna crack that.
Okay.
I'm gonna crack that. And then I'm gonna see what's really up with the subgrades, and then take my chances, because PSA 8, it could be so different, right? So yeah, unless it's awfully centered, then I would probably take the Skeens.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with Mike Trout too. I gotta give credit to Paul Skeens though. Like, I've written off pitchers in the hobby just because of the value that it just can't sustain, and the pitchers get injured so frequently now because they throw much harder. But credit to Paul Skeens for making me think again whether this guy is like, wow, generational. Yeah. And of course it's early. Of course he's only 22 years old, but what's his ERA is 1.99 now, less than one WHIP, 6-1, greater than 9K per night. Like, the stats are, crazy for a rookie. And then, I know he's not going to win it. Probably won't win NL MVP, but people are starting to even have that discussion. You know what I mean? Like, it's what he's doing right now is just otherworldly. So, but yeah, it makes me think that it's made me think, maybe I'll put one of his cards on my eBay watch list. We'll see. We'll see how things go. All right. Well, that wraps up our show today. And next time we'll be recording, we'll be in New York City. So if you are in Fanatics Fest, like I said before, you could DM myself at 5cardguys, and maybe we could shoot some content together at FanFest and just connect that way. But we'll be at FanFest in New York City on Thursday, and we're looking to have a great time. So hopefully see you there. Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.